Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Meaningful Motivations with Tracy Erickson. And of course, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy Erickson, and this is video number 17 in my Palmistry series. And in this video, we're going to be going over 7 very rare palmistry markings that you might find on your hand. And I'll explain what these 7 rare signs mean if you have them. So stay tuned. At the time of me recording this video, my most popular video by far is the palmistry video I created about the crescent moon shape that can be created by bringing your palms together and seeing if your heart lines create a crescent moon or a half circle. And what I learned through the comments in that video is that many people think that everyone has the crescent moon marking, but that's just not so. If everyone had the crescent moon mark, that means that everyone's heart lines are exactly the same, and that's just not so. So, if you've watched that video and you're not sure if you have the half circle or the crescent moon on your hands, the marking is created by the heart line that reaches all the way up between the first 2 fingers and curves just enough to create the half circle. So if your heart line is too short, you do not have the crescent moon mark. If your heart line is too straight at the bottom, for instance, rather than curved like a semicircle, then you do not have this mark. If you have breaks in either of your heart lines, then you technically do not have the crescent moon marking. So I just wanted to clear that up for anyone out there who is confused, thinking that every person on the planet has the crescent moon mark. And that is just not so. And I actually have an entire playlist of palmistry videos that you could check out if you're interested in palm reading. And I have a video all about the heart line specifically if you want to learn about the heart line, which is the line that creates the crescent moon shape. Because the crescent moon marking was such a popular marking, I decided to go even further and take a look at 7 very rare palmistry markings that few people have. And if you carry one of these 7 markings, it can mean something very special for you. As usual, as we look at these particular markings within this video, I want you to remember that your entire hand tells the bigger story. So in this video, we're only zooming in on these 7 particular marks if you happen to have them on your hand. But, you know, the rest of your hand also adds to that story and can either highlight or negate some of the things that are mentioned here, depending on the whole portrait of your hand. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started with these 7 rare palmistry marks that you may or may not find on your hand. And we're going to start with the Simian Line. Most of the population has 2 lines that are major lines on the hand that go across the palm. And those are the heart line and the head line. But people with the Simian line are quite different indeed. I've actually drawn pictures for you guys to illustrate each of the lines that I'll be discussing today. So rather than having a separate heart line and headline, the Simian line is a single straight line that goes across the entire palm. And on a person with this actual Simian line, you will not find a separate headline and heart line because this line represents them both put together. While in some cases, the Simian line is often found in people with developmental disabilities, such as Down syndrome or fetal alcohol syndrome. But in general, if you don't have those pre-existing conditions and you find that you have a Simian line, then this could mean that your logic and emotions are closely intertwined. So people who do not have medical conditions that are tied to the Simian line just simply have very strong emotional ties to decision making and basically any area in life where you use your logic, your emotion is also going to be tied to that and intertwined with the way that you think. So what this means is that you could be very deeply emotional. You can be very connected with how you feel about things. But at times it could mean that you could be overly emotional about things. And in some cases, a Simian line can even mean obsessive compulsive type behaviors as well. The second rare marking that I want to talk about today is the Ring of Solomon. And so the Ring of Solomon is a small ring on the Mount of Jupiter. So the Ring of Solomon is simply this half circle shape that you would find on this fleshy part of your palm right under your index finger. You will often find this Ring of Solomon under the index finger on individuals who are drawn to occult studies and mysticism. So people with the Ring of Solomon will show you that they're very intuitive individuals and very connected with their psychic abilities. Because of their wisdom and intuition, people who show the sign of the Ring of Solomon will be people who are very empathetic and able to be compassionate towards other individuals because their deep wisdom and intuition helps them to understand other people. This sign usually shows up around the age of 16, and this will lead to leadership and other forms of guidance for other people throughout the lifetime of the person who has the Ring of Solomon. The third rare marking that we'll be talking about today is the Mystic Cross. And so the Mystic Cross is found in the center of your palm between the headline and the heart line. And if you see an X or a cross marking between these two lines and under the finger of Saturn, then you have the Mystic Cross. People who possess the Mystic Cross sign are somewhat similar to the people who possess the Ring of Solomon, because the Mystic Cross will also be a sign that indicates a heightened intuition, as well as being drawn to the occult studies. People with the Mystic Cross have an understanding of the mysterious or hidden things in life. And so these people usually use their intuition and spirituality in very outward ways because of their deep understanding of these more mysterious things. People who possess the Mystic Cross have this ability to be comfortable in things that are unknown. That is why they are so drawn to the occult studies and mysticism. But the Mystic Cross can also just represent that you are comfortable in things that are unfamiliar. So you can be comfortable talking to people from all different cultures, backgrounds, or walks of life if you have this Mystic Cross marking. I actually have the Mystic Cross as an X right between my two lines. This line generally just means a connection to the unknown, a deep desire to study the hidden phenomena of life in the universe. And in general, the people with this marking are very intuitive and spiritual. The fourth rare marking that I want to discuss today is the mark of the healer. And the mark of the healer is easy to identify because the healer's mark is 4 or more parallel vertical lines on the Mount of Mercury. The Mount of Mercury is the fleshy part right below your pinky finger. And I happen to have this mark as well. So if you have the mark of the healer, it simply means that you are drawn to healing energy in one way or another. This mark is often carried by people who become medical professionals in one way or another, or who are spiritual healers, which I happen to be a Reiki practitioner and have always been drawn to the spiritual side of healing. So it makes sense that I carry the healer's mark. The fifth rare marking that we're covering today is the Girdle of Venus. And the Girdle of Venus is this line that goes between the ring finger and the middle finger, and it is above the heart line. I know that some people think they have 2 heart lines, when in reality, for some of them, they have a heart line and they have a Girdle of Venus. If you have this mark, the Girdle of Venus, then you are very creative. And also, you have an emotional intensity and sensitivity about yourself. So this can lead to deep emotional connections with others, but it can also lead to being moody or having intense mood swings because you feel everything so deeply if you have this mark. And on the extreme end of this, if you have the Girdle of Venus, but the line itself is broken or fragmented, then that just means that you do have difficulty reconciling strong emotions, and you could have a lot of relationship struggles because of that. The sixth rare marking that I want to discuss today is the main money triangle. I do already have a video all about money triangles in my palmistry playlist if you want to check that out, because it points out a couple of other triangles that could indicate a potential for abundance and wealth. But in this video, I want to talk about the main money triangle. And that is the money triangle that is created with the headline, the fate line, and the health line. All right? So the fate line and the headline are 2 main lines, but this health line is kind of a minor line, so not everybody has that line in that position. So if you have a line that goes vertically up your palm towards your Mercury finger or your pinky finger that creates this triangle with your fate line and your headline, then you have the money triangle. If you have this particular money triangle on the palm of your hand, then you have the potential to attract abundance and wealth into your life. You also are very intelligent when it comes to money management, and you simply have a way of working with money that is good for you. And I have this particular marking on my palm as well, but my health line is a little bit fragmented. So I think that I have the ability to, attract abundance, but maybe even the ability to lose it from time to time. But generally speaking, if the line is very clear, then that means you have the ability to attract wealth and prosperity in your life. And the bigger and more clear the triangle, the bigger and more clearly your abundance comes to you. And finally, the last rare marking I'm going to be talking about today is the sun line, or otherwise known as the Apollo line. And all this is a line that moves upward from the bottom of your hand towards your Apollo finger or your sun finger. And so This can be a line that starts all the way at the bottom of the palm and moves all the way up. It can start halfway and move up, or whatever. So this can be a short line or a long line that spans the entire palm. But either way, if you have a sun line, that represents a level of success that will be attained in your lifetime. If you have a clear, long, and deep sun line, that means that you are going to have success and public recognition, even in some cases. In some cases, it can even represent celebrity status. Now, if your sun line is like mine, my sun line actually starts after my heart line and moves up. So that means that I will have success, but it will be attained later in life. But if your sun line goes all the way up the palm, this success could come earlier for you. Whether your sun line is long or short doesn't really matter, but if your sun line is broken or fragmented in some way, then that just represents that you have the potential for success, but you have self-doubt that is kind of mixing in with that potential. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button. And if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to click subscribe down below. And once you have subscribed, you can turn on the notifications bell if you want to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.